we uploaded a PlayStation Store sale video. We had that video recorded and edited and ready to go for Sunday, and I wasn't responding to a lot of those comments, so I want to give you guys an update on that because wild stuff was happening as far as that's concerned, and I want to give you guys an update on a couple of PlayStation exclusives. We'll get to that in a little bit, but yes, the PlayStation Store yesterday went down for literally hours, and we got a ton of comments on our deals videos, the one we uploaded yesterday and the ones from a couple days ago, that everybody was like, yo, what are you talking about, these sales? The PlayStation Store isn't even live right now, etc, etc. We can't. Apparently what was going on is a lot of people were trying to add games to their cart and just getting error messages, they couldn't check out, etc, etc. At this point, the PlayStation Store is currently back up. I am on the store right now. I went on this morning. Literally, as I'm recording this video, I am looking at the PlayStation Store right now. Bear in mind, I am on the browser. My PlayStation 5's in the, is not on right now, so I'm not looking there, but on the browser, everything's good to go. You can sign in, you can add stuff to your cart, and I've been browsing that, so unfortunate situation. Apparently, this happens every year, so maybe I haven't been, mindful of that fact, but you have to know what to expect, and I've been saying this in previous videos. During the holiday period, especially Christmas Day, people are getting their PlayStation consoles. They might be getting PlayStation credit. They're going on to the store. They're trying to buy games. The whole family's getting together. They've got their console. They're trying to buy Modern Warfare 2. I guarantee you that's the game everybody was trying to buy, and, I've been seeing a lot of memes on social media about people getting MW2 from 2009, which is absolutely hilarious. I highly doubt anybody was dumb enough to actually get MW2 2009 unless it was just a complete troll job, but nonetheless, MW2 obviously being one of those games that people were looking to pick up, and I know, you guys have your opinion on Call of Duty, but, from what I could tell, anecdotally speaking, everybody that I know that was getting a PS5, like Modern Warfare 2, was at the top of their priority list as far as the game they wanted to get. We're talking about hyper casual, so, obviously COD's gonna be right up their alley. And nothing against MW2. Again, I had a lot of fun with it. I literally have put 80 hours into that game, which is absolutely disgusting for me because I have to complete games in my backlog, and putting 80 hours into MW2 is not helping with that. But nonetheless, yeah, the PlayStation Store is live back right now. I got some interesting videos planned to continue covering the sale. I want to look at deals above the price of $10, of course, because it seems like I always restrict myself to that budget threshold, but some of you guys probably got some bread to spend, so maybe you're looking at an Elden Ring, maybe you're looking at, I don't know, a Sonic Frontiers, etc, etc. So we're gonna be covering that, but also I'm gonna be covering some more niche stuff. We got some cool stuff planned. Hopefully doing some different stuff with the PlayStation Store sales and coverage of that will hopefully persist into 2023. No promises, but fingers crossed on that. All right, moving on from that, do want to cover a couple of things as far as PlayStation exclusives go. Death Stranding 2 and a new first-person shooter from Sony are reportedly to be released in 2024. Now, you have to take these release windows with very much a grain of salt. This is coming from the PlayStation Studios visual artist characters Frank Alberti on the ArtStation website, who managed to work on both titles. This is coming from PCGameAbout.com, and the upcoming first-person shooter mentioned on the page is most likely engaged in Firewalk Studios, which concluded an exclusive agreement with Sony Interactive Entertainment in 2021 to release a AAA first-class multiplayer title under them. Now, the official statement notes, founded in 2018, Firewalk Studios is led by Tony Hsu. Studio had previously GM and SVP of Destiny at Activision, and Ryan Ellis, game director, previously creative director at Bungie, and Elena Siegman, executive producer, previously at Harmonix, Irrational Games, and Bungie. So a lot of Bungie alumni a part of this team. The team includes a deep roster of highly talented developers who have helped deliver top-selling, culturally impactful titles, including the Destiny franchise, where all three leads worked successfully together on both development and publishing, as well as Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Mass Effect, and Halo. This collected expertise allows this team to focus on delivering a rich multiplayer game experience rooted in great core gameplay and inspired art. Firewalk continues to recruit top talent for its team, which is built on collaboration, inclusion, and respect. So, I've been saying for a long time that Sony desperately needs compelling, high-quality multiplayer shooters. That's really the area where they are completely fumbling the bag. I give Sony a lot of credit. They've done banger single-player title after banger single-player title. Whenever you get a year where you're dropping Horizon Forbidden West and God of War, that is a winner of a year. Like, you cannot take anything away from a single player standpoint what Sony has offered. Those are two top tier titles. Good on them, but they are severely lacking from a multiplayer standpoint, and it's obvious this is an area that Sony is going to work on. They're going to make better, so hopefully that will be something you ultimately see come to fruition. And a first-person shooter, like, when I think FPS and when I think PlayStation, obviously, I'm going to flock towards Killzone. I really think we could put all this to bed if we just remaster Killzone 2, give it a multiplayer server, and just let us be 60 frames per second. Yo, I am all on board. We don't need any new shooters. Like, just give me Killzone 2. Give me a way to relive 2009 all over again with Killzone 2. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I think a lot of people would be all over that, and it's kind of surprising that that's not something Sony has done, at least to, like, bridge the gap. Like, to do a Killzone 2 remaster probably wouldn't be that colossal of an undertaking, and you could put that out, charge $40 for it or whatever. People will buy it, people will play it for a while, and, you know, bridge the gap until you do a compelling new multiplayer title. But it's obvious that Sony is completely committed to eventually rolling out multiplayer titles. I believe they said they got 20 live service games in development or something to that effect, and that's to be released by 2025. You know, 20 sounds like a gargantuan number, but you also have to take into account that a lot of these are gonna fail. You have to go into the mindset when you're dropping that many games that a bunch of them are gonna fail. What you really need to do is have 2 to 3 of them stick, and those games will generate perpetual revenue for you for the long term. That's really the idea of constantly, you know, throwing darts at the board with live service titles, and I would imagine that's their ultimate MO. As far as Death Stranding 2 goes, I am really curious to see the reception of that game, because Death Stranding inherently had a lot of buzz, and it was definitely a game that people looked at as a bit of a mixed bag. It was a little off the wall, a little bit wacky, a little bit zany, and not everybody vibed with it. I thought it was a very, very compelling and unique game, and we need more unique titles in gaming in general, and I thought Death Stranding was awesome, and I constantly recommend it to people, but I understand if people can't get into it, and you know, just the Kojima style of narrative probably isn't everybody's cup of tea. Like, I've talked to people that didn't really vibe with Metal Gear, and that's, like, wild to me. Like, I think Metal Gear is one of the best gaming franchises of all time, and I know people that just didn't vibe with Metal Gear. It's just, for whatever reason, they couldn't get into it, and I find that, like, shocking, but nonetheless, that's just kind of what you're gonna get. But Kojima titles are always gonna have an inherent level of interest. I just don't know if Death Stranding 2 is gonna have that same level of buzz that the original one had, just because the original one was a little bit divisive. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll ultimately see how that turns out if it is going to drop in 2024. That would be a fairly quick turnaround for the game, but I imagine the game is relatively, you know, progressing smoothly in development, but we'll see how that turns out. But that's going to do it for me. Again, the PlayStation Store is currently back up. Went down yesterday. I saw a lot of talk about that, but don't worry, you should be able to go on the store, buy whatever you need. The PlayStation Store sale, of course, running for another couple of weeks, and then it will have a refresh rolling in new deals. So be mindful of that. If you're looking at the PlayStation Store sale and you're looking at the deals, and maybe you saw the date of January 17th or whatever, I believe it's ending, look at the game pages themselves. Some of them note January 17th, some of them note that they're gonna end on January 7th, so you really want to pay attention to that. Like Injustice 2 Ultimate Edition, that's gonna be running the entire duration of the sale. Last of Us Part 2, only until January 7th, so like I feel like some people are gonna get duped by that, but try to make that abundantly clear.